Well, very big welcome back to day 6 here in Baku for what can only be described as an incredible World Championships. I think on the first 4 days we saw non-stop action. It was all about the ippons and the magnificent different ippons that we saw. Also about the transition from standing down to ground. We saw a lot of that, and I think we've seen more of that at this championships than we've seen for a long time. But yesterday was very, very different. We saw some battles, and we really saw some incredible head-to-heads, and we saw how when you've got to dig deep, you've got to dig deep. It was a great day, wasn't it? I've got Esther Stam with me in the commentary position. She's been with me for, well, this is the 6th day. Have you had a good time?
I've had a really amazing time, and as you said, this World Championships is one of the best we've ever seen, I think. And yesterday we saw a little bit more tactical fighting, but it was really good.
Tactical fighting, and also time going into extra time, but it didn't matter, did it? It just didn't matter. So we're going to start. We're on mat 2 here. If you go on mat 1 and mat number 3, you've got a choice of different fights throughout the day. Esther and I are on mat 2 all through the day, and then of course it's the final block just only on mat 2 with Sheldon and myself from 4 o'clock our time this afternoon. So here we go. Kotsiev of Azerbaijan is out here against Joachim Dvarby of Sweden in the -100 kilograms category for men.
Yeah, and fighting for Azerbaijan immediately the first fight, that must put some pressure on you. And he's fighting a good opponent, because Joachim Dvarby is he's switched to the 100 kilograms, and he's really doing well now.
He is doing well, isn't he, in -100s, and he likes to go to ground as well. He's got a couple of really good turnovers, and Kotsiev just managing to defend there, but he'll have to be a little bit careful down there, I think.
Yes, and I think Dvarby is so strong, so obviously Kotsiev is also going to be strong. But let's see if that can get some exciting judo.
You're saying about putting pressure on Kotsiev. How much pressure does it put on being in a home? I mean, I know we're early in the morning. It's not as many people as later on in the day, but there's still quite a few people here.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't matter if it's a full stadium or if it's because you know that your family is going to be there watching with you, so you really want to do well for them.
It's family, friends, teammates, isn't it? You know, and your club has probably got a lot of supporters up there, and they're here already. That's guaranteed. Very unusual, one-sided style of the Azeri. Kotsiev wants that big right arm over the top, but Dvarby knows that, and so he's pinning the sleeve at the moment.
Yeah, and I think this is the first fight, and you still have to feel a little bit the grips of your opponents, and try to get yourself to feel well and feel comfortable, because you will have to deal with the nerves in the beginning.
What made it so special yesterday, Esther, in your eyes? Why was it different to the other 4 days that we saw?
I don't know. Maybe it's just also the weight is people are getting heavier, so it's going to be harder.
Different.
Yeah, it's going to be different anyway. And I think there were many people who really knew each other well, so you could really see that.
And close together, I think, on level. You know, there was a lot of people about the same level. There wasn't a differential in the level. So I think that a lot of really good people, and they had to fight for it. And I think that a lot of them were fighting all day, battling away to get there. And I think Shevdet Tusvili, in the end, you know, he was the one that came out on top. Great win for him and Spain.
Yeah, that was really close. And now immediately he's in big trouble in the Nawaza. And good reaction from Joachim Dvarby there.
Well, he had to be careful down there, didn't he? He really had to, and he's in the hold down here. Tatami for Dvarby, he kind of dropped into it, didn't he?
Yeah, but it looks really strong, and Mia Hermansson, his girlfriend, is going to be really happy with this win for Joachim Dvarby.
And you obviously know her,
I know her really well. So hello, Mia, if you're watching.
You see, we're allowed to do that. We're allowed to say big hello there to our friends, of course.
And she got a terrible injury in the European Championship, so she couldn't be here. So she has to watch from home.
And I'm sure she is, and she'll be really happy with that win there. Ippon win to Varby of Sweden, and he'll go through now to the next round. We've got to fight a few matches in the preliminary rounds just to get through to the second round, where all of the top seeds are automatically. They get seeded through to the second round. So we got one or two contests first of all. Varby is one of them.
Yeah, and it's a big disappointment for Kotsoya because you want to do well for your family and friends watching here. And it's not nice to go out in first round.
No, never. World Championships, you want as much time out there as possible. Good win for Varby, though. Always threatened on the ground, and that's where he took him.
Yeah, but it's a really tough pool because we also have Cho there, the winner of the Tokyo Grand Slam of last year. We have Cyril Maret, who's really experienced, won so many medals. So it's going to be a struggle to come through this block.
It's going to be hard, isn't it?
Yes.
We just saw there, just in slow motion, you could see the Sumigeshi there from the Azeri, and it just dropped him into trouble immediately. So Tati Shihogatami wins. And again, Newaza transition from standing down to
immediately ground. We are proving our point.
I think so, which is a good thing. So the second contest up, Zalan Ohat of Hungary here against Nazeko of BDI. Now then.
Burundi. Burundi it is.
Some of the smaller countries here able to fight against some of the top-ranked people in the world, and they're out here competing, and straight away is in trouble there. Sumigeshi there by Hohat, and directly into the hold there, and no messing around there.
Yeah, that was really quick work from Mohat, and he just didn't want to put any chance on that, and that's really sad for Newseko, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you want them to get out there and to really be able to show what they can do, and at least to spend some time out there. 30 seconds there, total time for Nazeko. Wazari, first of all, Ohat, and you can see there, he was dwarfed, actually, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Ohat
really
did the Sumigeshi and directly into the hold. And from the hold, he just needed to hold him for 30 seconds. So it was, sorry, 30 seconds. Where did 30 seconds? That was back in the day.
Yeah,
back in the day, 30 seconds was the total amount of time. Thanks, you got me out of it there. Excellent. 10 seconds is all he needed to hold him for. To get the Rossetti upon.
And of course, there's also another Azeri fighting in this weight category, Elmar Gazimov. One of the favorites is winning his first fight. So they still have some other
home
competitors.
Interest.
Yeah,
they have home interest.
They have. So now coming onto the mat, it's Takayawa from Fiji in white. He's fighting Bojan Dosen of Serbia in blue.
Well, we were just saying earlier that it gives some of the smaller countries a real chance at the World Championships. They're able to send athletes out to compete in the World Championships. Of course, for the Olympic Games, it's about Olympic qualification through big events. What a Sianagi that was. Takawa of Fiji, well, just directly right the way underneath Dosen. In fact, it was Dosen right the way underneath Takayawa. So Dosen with a beautiful Sianagi there. Marathi Sianagi, and well controlled all the way over.
Yeah, it was a beautiful throw.
Well, I don't think we're going to be here long at this rate, are we?
No, we're going to be finished at 11 if this
I think
keeps
we
going
might
on.
be.
But I don't think that's going to happen because there's a lot of strong fighters still in. So there's going to be some tough fights. That was really beautiful work.
Yeah, look how he disappears right the way between the legs there, and he catches his opponent as he's coming on, and that is what judo's all about, just using your opponent's own force against them.
Yeah, and Takayawa was always so moving too much forward without paying so much attention, so he could really drop underneath.
Well, this should be a little bit harder. Kumric here of Croatia. Mare, of course, 3-time winner of the Paris tournament, Mare, and world medalist, world bronze medalist. So he'll want to repeat that here.
Yeah, he wants to at least repeat that, and I think he's really going to go for the world title here.
Yeah, I think it's the big one has really eluded him when it comes to Olympic Games and World Championships. You know, the Paris tournament, of course, we all know that the Paris Grand Slam is as hard for, you know, the amount of people that are in it. But it's winning the major title that, you know, that it's all about, isn't it? But
yeah, and that's what really separates some athletes from the really top ones, because you see some of the athletes, they don't have so many medals, but they have the medals in the right time. So they're always good on World Championships, they're always good in Olympics. For example, yesterday you could see Yuri Alvear as a good example of that.
I was just about to say that. Alvear is a prime example. Doesn't do many competitions, but always performs at world level. Well, that was an attempt by Mare there. Mare just almost scoring and almost following down to the ground.
Yeah, and it was a risky move of Kumric to try to come out of that like that.
Well, again, sacrifice. You can land yourself in trouble. We just saw it in the previous match there, trying to do a sumigay and just coming around the legs there for the hold down.
Yeah, and I think especially with Mare, he's a really experienced fighter. So if you do that 1 or 2 times in the fight, he's going to know that you're going to do that.
Well, he's just going to know it, and he's going to come around the legs, isn't he, just to stop it. Well, Mare's still got to start, though. He hasn't really taken the initiative here. Not so far. He's going to have to start to attack as well. There's another one there from Kumric. But just like you said, he was waiting for that. Now, can he tie up the arm and then take the leg out? He's going to look for the arm lock first of all. Then, as he defends the arm lock, he's going to try and wrap that arm up. He doesn't want to know down there. That's a strange one, isn't it? I would have thought that he would have just given that a real good effort to try and get the leg out.
Yeah, either he was not looking for it, or maybe the referee thought it was not advancing fast enough. So I don't know what happened there, but for sure they're gonna continue in Tachiwaza. Now he really has to the sleeve pinned. That's loose again, but I think he's want to work on that and try to go for the Haregoshi or Uchimata.
Slow start for Mare. Mare is definitely going to get penalised here. He hasn't done anything. Nobuyuki Sato there, and Mr. Yamashita's coach, and a 2-time world champion himself there up in the crowd. Keep bumping into him at dinner with his wonderful wife, yeah. And in the gym last night, 74 years of age, and he was in the gym
Yeah,
last
I think that's really important.
He was as well.
So you were also there?
I was, I have to say. I was.
So yeah, it looks like Maret is really struggling a little bit to find the good feeling and find his form, and it can also have to do because a lot of these athletes have to lose some weight. So in the first fights, they are just they still have to regain some energy.
Good observation, that actually, because he often pops up to plus 100 kilograms. He fights the big guys really, really well.
Yeah, he does.
And he does very, very well. And in team competition, they often put him in. So I'll be interested to see, because I think probably they'll rely on him for the team competition.
Yeah, they
a little bit later. So Kosoto there, and you see landed on the elbow. So no score given. Kumric has 2 Shidos on the board. One more Shido on there and it will be disqualification, so we can't afford another one. And really, Marais of France finding hard work at this.
Yeah, and I don't think he made an attack yet. He's just playing a tactic and safe. And as I said, it could have something to do with losing the weight, and but also it's just the nerves, finding your form. And yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see him.
Well, we did see it. We've seen it a few times there, where they have a bad first fight, then they warm into it. They get, and of course, it goes to what we were talking about before as well, about the importance of the warm-up. That had too much of a delay on it there. He was looking for the score there, Mare. Ko Soto was a good attempt, but again, it lands on his elbow. And you've got to land on your side to warrant the score.
Yeah, just not enough for the score. No, and we could see it with Hedero, for example. He didn't look so sharp yet in the first few fights, but then as he got through to the semi-finals, it really looked on form.
You see the concern there with the coaches. You know, they're looking at their fighter, and it's easy. I mean, it's easy for us, isn't it? You know, to say, well, you know, there's a reason behind. You know, there could be 100 reasons why he is looking so jaded and so tired and lackluster. You know, because it's obvious there's no snap there, and it's just one of those days. But I have to say that I've had it before. I had it in one of the World Championships, the last World Championships I ever fought, and I just knew that it was going to be spade work all the way. You know, I was going to have to really work hard to get any decision and any result, and I did.
Yeah, so in the end, it doesn't really matter how you get the results as long as you get it.
No, it's right. I mean, I medalled, but it was the hardest work I've ever had in any championships.
But and it's a little bit unfair that we're not paying so much attention to Kumric, and now he goes over, and I think it was it's the quality of Mare, and but really Kumric did a really good job, and he's also getting stronger. So it also shows that the level of fighting is really high, and it's getting higher, and it's getting more depth.
It is. So Mare just about sneaks through there. Haramaki Komi takes him over for a score, but he's got a real challenge with Cho Guham of Korea in the second round, and he'll have to come out a little bit different to that.
Yeah, Mare. He does, but he had a really good warm-up here.
He did. He had a good warm-up, and that's for sure.
Yeah, he's not going to be too happy with that, but...
no, I don't think he will. So Sodomaki Komi in the end by Mare, and he manages to bring it round in golden score. I think we're about 40 seconds there into golden score. Fate for one technique there, and then just controlled that arm and just drove his opponent over onto his back. Mare goes through into the second round, where he'll fight Cho.
Yes, you see that some of the athletes, they really make quick work. He needed a little bit longer. So now coming on to the mat, it's Anto Dubreta from Montenegro. He's fighting Li Huilin from China.
Yes, let's see what Li of China can do.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's a surprise, right?
It is a big surprise. 90s, though, they have a really good history in the 90s and the -100s. The men, they've got some explosive fighters. But World Championships, you don't know, do you?
No,
you really
don't.
You know, some of the smaller countries doing very, very well here and displaying good judo.
And there is so many good fighters here, so in order, I think you're gonna see some surprises and winning one or two fights, but to really get to the semi-finals and to the finals, it's one other step to go.
Left to left here, so one of them, are they going to go? You can see there that Dubreta just trying to pull the head in, control the head.
Yeah, Lee, he was coming for an attack, and he really didn't have the good grip yet on the top. And you could see that that's really immediately it's gonna be risky to do.
Of course, the winner of this will go through to the second round, and the next fight up is Bauza and Medina of Dominican Republic. So the winner of this will fight that. So we've got a couple. One of them is going to go through to a third round match. So again, just the look of the draw, the way it comes out, and sometimes you get an easier way through, because we have seen some horrific ones, haven't we?
Yeah, we did. And there's some first fights that are just really tough, or second fights. You see Joe and Marais in the next round, and that could easily be a medal match.
Well, it could easily be a medal match, and of course losing just puts you out straight away. Right the way underneath there, De Bretta does a little bit of gymnastics there to avoid that.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like Lee has has good timing. This was a really nice attempt, and he just needs to find the gripping because the top is a little bit loose all the time.
I think a lot of it, if you see really big throwers, it's having the belief. You want the grip, dominate the grip, keep control all the way through.
Yeah, but good movements from Lee, I think, and he's immediately trying to go for that again.
Well, you're absolutely right. Didn't have the sleeve, did he? He had no sleeve grip, just went in off the lapel. It's almost as if he thinks it's safer doing it that way. Much better to get the second hand on. The movement's nice.
Yeah, he really gets his hips under, and he's in the perfect position to throw.
Well, I think we should just have a little word with this coach, shouldn't we? You know, 2 hands on, and let's say, you know, it's one of the expressions that we have, isn't it? Keep 2 hands on. Let's get the second hand on. And we've seen all the way through, haven't we, the importance of catching sleeve, dominating the sleeve, catching the lapel, or if it's not the lapel, certainly what you do with that other hand. But that sleeve and the Kazushi hand, so important. That's going to be a score there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were talking about. He's just not dominating the top half and not having the grip, and De Bretta is making really good use of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really lazy, wasn't it? It looked sloppy, and he paid the price there. De Bretta just taking him over and tipping them onto his back.
Yeah, and let's see if Lee can do something about that. And I think because he's making the attacks, really strong attacks, and let's see if he can get the top half. And he's actually almost doing that.
I'm not sure whether that was just backside there hitting the ground. It's got to be at least side to back. So I think, yeah, they've given it. Quick look at the landing. Good picture here. We can see the landing. Well, that looked a bit dubious to me. That wasn't a score for me, and they've taken it off. So isn't it good that we've got 3, 4, 5 different angles here, and we can see the landing quite clearly where it is? I know that there's still some people out there and that are questioning where for a Wazari, or the beginning of the Wazari, and I think that's kind of the grey area at the moment for sure, where the Wazari begins. Because obviously when you don't quite score an ippon from the beginning of where Wazari starts, there's a big wide berth as to what is called a Wazari. And I think that we saw there that the elbow went down and the side didn't hit, didn't make contact, so no score.
Yeah, and he keeps coming in, but he's just not controlling the left arm of De Bretta, and as long as he doesn't do that, he won't get the score.
Never get a score, will he? He won't. Get him up in the air. That's why we say you don't score the flight, but you score the landing.
Yeah. Although De Bretta has some flight time in this fight. Look, now he has the sleeve. Now you could immediately see. And scoring a Wazari straight away.
It was beautiful, Tayatoshi. It's first time he's kept hold of the hand. So he kept hold of the hand, and we will have another look at the landing. And he was holding the same side, which is great. Went in at the same, you know, almost immediately. And you could see, didn't quite have the whole of the back there. Didn't roll him onto the points of the shoulders, both points. So he gets the Wazari, pulls it back. Doing a lot of cross grip, so he'll have to go in immediately every time.
Yeah, he really is only focusing on that side and gripping on one side.
Well, I think he's starting to realise that if he just keep hold of that, that he's actually going to throw with it. Yeah,
but I think it's maybe a little bit lack of experience that he It's just, yeah, his gripping is not so strong yet. And now again he has the one-sided grip, and he really has to start. Yeah, now it's off, but he really has to immediately attack when he has that.
Well, any unorthodox grip has got to do that. Nice Sasai there, just attempting to take him over the other flank. And that's what he should be doing all the time, really. Just going from one flank to another.
Yeah, the coach is saying that exactly. Like to hold the sleeve also, and to make in which direction he has to go.
Oh, Sodagari this time from Dubretta. Dubretta fighting very, very well. And he's still in it. Golden score. Any score now will do it.
Yeah, in the end it's a close fight. I think Lee really put in all the work. He was all the time searching for a score, and Dubretta is trying to take over.
So anybody's match this. Tough first round match. They'll definitely be warmed up.
Oh,
and that's it, all
nice
over. Well, nice Ashiwaza there. And I think it was more a Kuriashi. Almost, he swept the other foot, the first foot into the other one. We'll have a look, see if it was Diashi or Kuriashi. Difference between Diashi and Kuriashi?
Sorry?
Diashi and Kuriashi, the difference?
But I think now this is Diashi, and the other one you take the other leg.
I always ask my students, you know, I had them to demonstrate the difference sometimes, but it always stuck. I had one of my students, I said, well, I'm going to get you to demonstrate that tonight, so you better
really?
know. Yeah, they never forgot the lesson. So.
I think the most of the top fighters just go for the Diashi.
Yes. Well, it was a good Ashiwaza. So if in doubt, just go to the Diashi it was. It was 1 foot, just catches the front leg forward. Super stuff. And flat on his back, actually.
Yeah, it was good timing.
Really good timing. Good hands as well. And that's what we want to see, isn't it? It really is. So he's going to go through to the next round, and Dubretta did very, very well there.
He really did, and it was nice to see that he was sometimes struggling in the fight, and he wasn't coming as the first with the attack. But really nice footwork there.
So Dubretta goes through. Our next fighter is Bauza of Lithuania against Medina of Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and ooh, that was over really fast.
Well, I think that's probably one of the fastest, wasn't it? You didn't even get it out there, did you? 8 seconds into that contest. Bauza, a nice shoulder throw there. Medina right the way over, and it's all over for him. And it's such a shame, because he will be walking away now. He'll be going home thinking, well, I was probably part of the fastest contest in the World Championships. 8 seconds. Bauza wins by Ippon.
Yeah, and it was a really nice Seoinage attempt, and just no defense there.
No defense at all. He was on the same sleeve with both hands, meant he had to go in immediately, and he was right the way underneath, wasn't he? Just didn't actually get the hips right the way through, but it was enough. The actual power on the sleeve was enough, and that's what gave him the score in the end.
Yeah,
so,
but coming on, he was blocking the leg, so he just didn't have a defense there. Yeah, 78 kilos.
Here we go.
Yes.
Under 78 kilos for ladies, and Vanessa Chala, Ecuador, is against Yahima Ramirez of Portugal. And Ramirez, were you telling me was the older?
Yeah, I think she's one of the oldest fighters fighting here with 38 years. And but still getting, I think she medaled this year, so she's still has a good quality of judo. And fighting Chalayer, I don't know if they fight before, but
Chala then against Ramirez. Chala is in white, Ramirez in blue. And let's hope we see good attacking judo here.
Yeah, Ramirez being a really tactical fighter always. And yeah, I think Chala really wants to go for it and tries to make the bigger attacks. So let's see what's going to happen.
Well, Ramirez, we know that she can do the judo, but often she doesn't attack as she should and starts to receive penalties. And we see her lose just a little bit too often with the penalties. Needs to stay in the middle.
Yeah, and she's actually received her first judo here, so you are right. And I think Chala is looking a little bit more positive.
Yeah, it's like you say, it is a difference between being positive with the kumikata and not wanting to grip up, you know. So, I mean, you can be positive breaking a grip off and you can be negative breaking a grip off. And also, you can have your grip and not attack. You know, you can just tap away with the legs,
yep.
and it doesn't mean anything. So it's how positively you go across, how positively you commit into the throw.
Yeah, and I think Chala is really trying to reach in over the top, and Ramirez here is trying to get out of that grip. And it's already 2 minutes of the contest has gone, and then you really think, where did it go?
Well, again, just trying to back up towards the edge, and you can see that her head is going down here, Ramirez, so she'll get a second penalty probably at some stage. There's the second penalty gone up.
Yeah, and just blocking out her opponent from really making attacks, and that's not positive, so... I hope she realizes that and that she really has to try something else.
Yep, she needs to keep the head up and to start putting in some positive attacks. That was a positive attack. Sasai there. They both went out because of the Ashiwaza. So no penalty there.
No.
Well, there's a battle royal. I've just map 3 is Denisov and Wolf. Talk about an early round 2. My goodness
incredible.
me, that was an incredible.
That's the world champion facing the number 3 of last year.
Yeah, I know.
In the early rounds.
And so I think everybody go away from us now. I've told them. You've got different commentators on mat number 1 and 3 during the day, but Esther and I are on mat number 2.
Yeah, and I think not much is happening, so they're both going to pick up a Shido for sure. And that's all over then for Ramirez. And Chala is through to the next round.
Chala will be through to the next round.
Yeah, and I think Yaima Ramirez really has to start thinking about her judo and trying to find another solution.
I think, yeah, like you said, hopefully she'll learn from it, but you know, again, she lost another match through Shidos, and something she needs to think about. It's got to be head up and more positive than she is being at the moment. But Chala goes through then of Ecuador.
Yeah, we won't see so much highlights here. Yeah, and Wolf Aron, he just beat the number 3 of last year, Kirill Denisov. Big upset already in the early rounds.
Well, Denisov has more world medals. I think he's got 4. He was going for his 5th or 6th world medal here in the minus 100 kilogram category, but it's all over for him. Here we go. Wagner, Germany against Berger of Belgium.
Yeah, and they both are having a really tough draw with Malonga in the next fight. And I think Wagner is really on form this year and getting better and better and stronger. But Berger also has to say in that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to have something to say about it, but it's all about stance, isn't it? You know, they're very tall, very upright, looking for the sleeve, both of them. So Shido straight away for both. They've got to attack. They have to grip up to make it positive. In fact, only Berger got the Shido.
Yeah, Wagner really is very tall for this weight category, and very tough gripping. Immediately she's into the Shimiwaza, so...
Yeah, she kind of fell on that there, and Wagner gets it. That was a nice Koshiguruma, and she just... well, Koshijimi, sorry, and she just straight in for it. She almost fell into it. The hand was on the lapel, and as Berger fell to the ground, she was immediately throwing her hips forwards to get the leverage. Good transition.
Yeah, really good.
So much.
And I'm really interested in the next fight with her and Malonga, because they always really have tough fights. Here you can see the Shimiwaza. It was straight on, and yeah, frustrating for Berger, but she's out.
Wow, this is really getting this all sorted out, aren't we? Very, very quickly here.
I think we really do have really quick fights.
We're back up now to the second round of the minus 100 kilos category. Michael Correl of the Netherlands is up. Just tell us a little bit about Correl.
Yeah, Michael Correl is, for me, is one of the example athletes. He's already since he was very young taking everything really seriously, and not only in judo but all aspects, so he's very complete. He did have an injury though for a while, so this is I think his first fight back. So we have to see if about his form. And Dwerby is a tough opponent, because I think in The Hague he got beaten by him. So
yeah, you said it was a tough one. Correl, of course, he's world ranked, coming here in second ranking, because he's world ranked number 2, and Dwerby not, but European medalist, I think, Dwerby this year. And like you said, Dwerby is, if you're not fully on top of your game, and we're just going to look it up here. Esther's just looking it up for us. Correl gets Shido, and Dwerby get a Shido as well for not attacking. Just feeling the grips out there. They can both feel the danger, these two.
Yeah, and they both, because there was an international training camp in the National Center of the Netherlands, and Joachim Dwerby was also there, so they must have done a few randoris there.
Yes, I think a lot of people out there will find that quite difficult to believe, that you actually spar with the people that you fight with for major tournaments, but we do it all the time, don't we?
Yeah, and you do need the experience. It's gonna get you a better fighter. Yeah,
I mean, you chase, I remember when I was younger, a lot younger, I was chasing all the best people in the category, all over the training camps. And then when I was at the top of the game, they were doing the same with me and chasing me all over the time.
Then you know you're getting good. If people are starting to ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much has happened yet. I just found how much times they fought. They fought 3 times before. And it is Joachim Dwerby in The Hague that he beat him. So,
saying that, Dwerby's got 2 Shidos on the board here, and 2 minutes to go. He's going to knock one of them off. So he's just knocked that Shido off for Dwerby, so it's still 1-1. That does change the whole tactics of the match, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and I'm happy that it doesn't happen, because not so much has happened yet, and they're fighting really tactically, and they're really going for their kumikata. But if that happens, it's just changing the fight too much. Yeah, and you can see that they're both really feeling the danger, and they're being so careful.
They're kind of cancelling each other out, aren't they? So it's one of those kind of matches where they know each other. They're stopping the major techniques coming, and it's going to be just a one small score, I think, that's going to decide this.
Yeah, you can see, for example, that Michael Correl has a really good seonage, and he was just doing that, but Dwerby knows so well, so he's prepared for that, and he was immediately trying to take over.
Yeah, you've got to be careful that he doesn't go down half-hearted. Now then, that was Correl just on top there, almost going for the strangle as well.
Yeah, and actually the same was happening here with Dwerby trying to go for Ouchi. Koro really knew that that was coming, immediately tried to take over. And we're gonna see that a lot. So really tough fight for both of them, actually. Oh, that was really good stuff from Michael Koro.
That was it, wasn't it? Ippon scored there to Michael Koro, right the way underneath Varby, and he'll be really happy about that, won't he?
Yeah, he really is going to be happy about that. And yeah, a big upset for Dwerby, of course, but it's judo.
It is, and the last time out you said Varby was the winner, and he's completely turned that the other way around.
Yeah, and Michael Koro, we didn't know how his form was going to be, and now you see it's he's looking really sharp.
So he's on the way back, and that was a good start there. That was a really tight match at the beginning, but Koro, in the end, gets through with his Seoinage. Just creates that little bit of space there, just takes him flat on his back there. Varby didn't have an answer. Went left-handed, and it was Sodi Surakumigoshi, actually, that he scored with.
It was actually because him having the sleeve that he Dwerby could not go another way, because you were seeing that he was trying to stop the throw with his arm.
And his head.
Yeah,
but actually the head, well, I don't think was his fault. You know, obviously we can get penalised. Obviously he can get penalised for going onto the head purposely. But anyway, didn't have
if your arms are going to get out of the way, so you have no chance.
Zilan Ohat of Hungary against Bojan Dosan of Serbia here in this second round match.
Yeah, Ohat looking really sharp in the first fight. So let's see if I can hold on to that. Probably not going to be as quick, as the time is already over.
Big arm over there. Ohat just wants that either sumigaeshi or big sorigoshi off the belt.
Yeah, both they really can throw, so I'm hoping to see some excitement in this fight. We got it in the end in the last fight.
We did. It came in the end. Just takes a little time to build sometimes, and a little time just to warm into the contest.
Straight into the grip. I like that.
Well, he wants it, you know, and this is an urgency, isn't it, with the grip, that he really wants it. And you can see he's been really positive with the grip and going over the top there. But got to be careful because of the drop. And this time for the Ouchi-gari.
Yeah, and Ohat is really looking strong and good here, really positive and coming forward. And Dosan is trying to get the sleeve of Ohat to stop him from working. But he's blocking, he's not... he doesn't really get to fight himself. And you can really see that. So you're gonna see Dosan all the time trying to put his left arm in between, or even get the right sleeve of Ohat.
So Ohat definitely taking the initiative in this match. Dosan will have to try and get the grip that he wants.
Yeah, and now I like that Dosan is starting to look a little bit more positive. I think he found a little bit a way of gripping. And Ohat is immediately, he's looking less, how do you say that?
Confident.
Strong. Yeah, less confident.
Certainly, I mean, well, because he feels the danger, doesn't he, if it's not dominating with the grips. So he wants sleeve first and then that big right arm over the top, Ohat. Shido. Penalty up there, each.
Yeah, and I think that's what Ohat has to do. He has to really try to come on top immediately, because as soon as the left arm of Dosan is in between, it's a lot more difficult to come close and throw.
Yeah, just starting to go down a little bit, Ohat. You can see that Dosen is coming forwards now. Needs to change the pace. Ohat now trying for the Uchimata. Now the Sumigeshi.
Yeah, it was a nice idea, but I think the second throw was a little bit less, with less confidence, as I can say. So, good first attempt.
Well, a lot of these back patches keep coming off, don't they? They have to remove them in the end. So, we'll have a little word with the seamstress. Uchimata this time, Ohat.
Not strongest attempt, but it looks like Ohat listened to us a little bit, so he's coming on a little bit stronger again.
So another tough contest here. No score so far, and I've got to say that it doesn't look as if either one of them has looked as if they're going to score. Yoko Otoshi attempt there by Bosen.
Yeah, but he really missed the top half of the... He really didn't have his the arm of Ohat under control.
Oh, Sotogari!
That was a really nice attempt.
Well,
out of nowhere.
I think so too. He didn't have the arm pulled in, so no score given. They might just have a little look at that, see where he landed. See, the elbow was out there. No chance of the side hitting the ground, so no score. So now, Dosen is the one that is putting in the work, and Ohat looks to me as if he's just struggling a little bit.
Yeah, but it keeps coming back and forth, so they're both really taking initiative, and maybe after half a minute the other one goes or something, I don't know.
It's going to go into golden score. I've seen a lot of golden scores so far today already. Seems to be a pattern, I think.
Yeah, and that was a really good attempt.
Uchimata into Sumigeshi, and certainly Dosen wants to get up and get on with it. Doesn't want to know down there.
No, and Dosen was actually really close with the left of Sotogari. So, because it's also the... then you get the support leg of the Ohat out of the way. Oof, that was enough, right?
Yeah, he just manages to tip him there, all part of one movement, and not a big movement, but just enough to get a score to win the match. Dosen then will go through on golden score, 32 seconds into golden score, not the best score in the world, but enough.
Yeah, probably Ohat is frustrated because he felt maybe he was already on the ground. But we've seen it so many times that it's just if the action is still there or the one is still in Tachiwas, it can score.
So Dosen goes through to fight Korrel of the Netherlands in the third round of this minus 100 kilos category. He knew he'd got it, so, well, not the best score in the world, but anyway, it's all about continuous movement. Turns his opponent over onto his side.
Yeah, and it was a good attempt from Ohat, but missing the control on the top, and that's where you really have the danger to being taken over.
So he goes through, and next up is going to be Cho Guham of Korea against Cyril Marais of France, and this should be a real tough
match. It really is. And what do you think is gonna...
Well, I don't know. It depends which Cho turns up, actually, for this. Marais will have to start faster and harder, that's for sure.
Yeah, he looks sharp, and that was really close to a score, actually.
Really close there. Marais just a little bit nonchalant, and he almost paid the price. He goes left and right as well, Cho. He doesn't just go one-sided to the right.
No, for me, Cho Guham is really one of the outsiders today. And especially Marat, he really has the high gripping, so it's the ideal for Cho to come underneath.
Well, and also he needs to really just up his tempo, Marat. He starts off just really expecting them to go the same speed as him, and you can see there that Cho really wants it.
Yeah, and I really love those little movements in the kumikata from the Koreans. They all do it, and to get off your balance and then come under really quickly.
Action reaction, isn't
it,
with the kumikata? Make one movement and then you make an opposite, and that's what they rely on.
Yeah, for me they're one of the best with the kumikata, and I had the toughest fight training in Korea with that.
Is that right?
Yes.
Did you find Korea much harder than Japan?
It's more physical,
yes,
so it's
sure.
I think it's heavier. So in Japan they're used to doing many randoris in a day, so you could do 15 randoris in the training. And in Korea they also do it, but maybe they do 10 randoris, and it's really
and that's
physical.
too much
so
as well, isn't it?
Broken in the end.
Yeah. No, I found exactly the same. I could randori forever in Japan, but not in Korea.
And also, I think because I was there when I was there, I was the only European there, so they all want to have a go at you, and that's really tough.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? They know who the easier practices are, so they'll have a couple of hard ones and then a couple of not so hard. Whereas we're going through the whole lot of everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, he dropped there, Cho, without any hands whatsoever. Oh,
ooh.
Now then, that was with hands. Sat him down on his backside here, and Marat has to come back. Marat gets a penalty.
Yeah, really what a fight this is, and to have it in the second round.
Well, interestingly, Lipitiliani is against Didier, the other French representative in this category, on mat number 1. And he's just ahead against Didier, but they've got 2 representatives here, the French.
Oh, that was...
now then, Kouchigari from Cho. I think it was.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that Cho had the foot in, and he looks very, very pleased with that.
Yeah, and Marat did want to take over, but he went flat on his back first. And as it was the action, it's just that's in full ippon.
Absolutely. The one that starts the throw, as long as they keep control with the hands all the way through, is the one that he might have lost control here. If we have another look at it, hopefully they're going to show it. All right. He must have kept control with the hands all the way through. Sometimes you lose control with the hands and then no score is given, but it definitely couldn't have been Marat's. Marat dropped onto his own back.
Yeah, and what a win for Cho Guam.
Yeah, great score for Cho. It was definitely his or nobody's. Keeps hold with the hands, makes sure that Marat's on his back, and that was a really good decision.
Yeah, and really did have control, and he was already trying that in before and almost throwing Marat, and this was a full throw. And sometimes you're thinking if Marat wouldn't have tried to take over, maybe he would have not landed flat on his back, but...
well, exactly. He needed some kind of turn anyway, rotation, so that he didn't land on his own back in order for it to count for him. Anyway, doesn't happen, and so now Anto Debreta of Montenegro here against Karolis Bauza of Lithuania. Bauza had that really quick win. He's hardly been on the tatami.
No, but what does happen is that you can get your nerves out of the way. Even if you get a really quick win and only 10 seconds on the mat, you had that first moment. And that was, again, a really quick and good movement from Bauza. He's on form.
Wow, Bauza just going through. He's flying through it. Now, can he just settle here for the Osai Komi? And we can see there that Debreta just manages to get him into the center of his legs. Sumigaeshi then. And Bauza of Lithuania absolutely flying through these.
He is, and he is one of the ones that's always around and a really strong competitor. But normally, like, he maybe makes a mistake or it doesn't come through. So let's see about today. Although he's facing Cho in the next fight, he's going to be pleased to be in the next round. But
do the sumigeish.
Again.
Yeah, straight away. Rossetti upon for Bowser. And so he has actually been on the mat about 1 minute and 3 seconds for 2 bouts.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, and on the other mat, you saw Liportiliani just beat Idir. So the French in this category are really upset they're out. They really had a tough draw, both of them.
Well, they'll be devastated with that, won't they? They really will be devastated with it, because when you put 2 in, you've got that kind of depth. 2 really big champions, and now they're both out.
Yeah,
that was
here again. Yeah.
First sumigeishi there by Bowser.
They both really did look the same. And he didn't have total control. That's probably why it was Rosari. But enough there.
2 sumigeishis then.
Yep.
Rossetti upon, and it's all over, and he's through. So we're really flying now into the next round of the into the under 78 kilograms.
Yeah, and this is already also a really tough fight. Guusje Steenhuis is fighting in white, being #1 seed, but she's facing Lee Jong-yoon from Korea.
Yes, tough old fight for Steenhuis, really in a first fight, but tough one for Lee as well.
Yeah, that's a really tough one, facing the #1 seed, and Guusje is always so strong. Steenhuis is so strong in her gripping. And she really wants to get the big medal this time. She already has European medals, but never has medals in the World Championships. And being #1 seed, you obviously are one of the favorites.
Yep, hard starting as favourite, and she started this well as well with the Ashiwazas, upsetting Lee with the Ashiwaza all the time. So Lee has got to get on the pace here, because she's definitely behind. Steenhuis has used the Ashiwaza, then tries with the big forward technique there as well.
Yeah, and she is really strong and tactical with her gripping, but in the end she's always trying to find some time to make an attack. So she will look positive and not get the shidos.
Train with her a lot?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
That was almost a score for Lee. Really nice seonage there. And this is where the Koreans really are dangerous always.
They are, and going left and right. And of course, the reason that they're so successful with it is because of the superior gripping. We were talking about the gripping when we go over, or when we went over to train in Korea. But I mean, that's what killed you, wasn't it? I mean, you know, always came away with your hands in bits.
Again, good attempts from Lee. This time she didn't have the grip. But really tough fight in the second round here. And Lee doing a really good job.
Well, we only had a couple to sort out in that first round, but that's going to be a score for sure. That Sotomaki Komi there from Steenhuis takes Lee over for a Wazari, and she's always threatened it. She's been superior from the very beginning, and she comes in for the Osoto there and then just throws the hips across. So good Makikomi there from Steenhuis to get that score.
And talking about control of the grip, here you can see that even in their throws, Steenhuis was getting more grip of the sleeve. And that's where you see that people of this class, they just get enough gripping in the end to score.
And Georgie goes to, well, you know, we're smiling because a lot of scores coming from Newaza there, and we said they need to be told about it, but Steenhuis didn't need telling about it. She knew all about that. Good coaching. You can throw out off the ground as long as you're standing and your opponent's coming up. Transition from Newaza as well, coming up off the ground, you're still able to throw.
Yeah, and she was almost able to score with it and finish the fight. Yeah, Lee has to really get the pace up because otherwise she's not going to be able to be dangerous.
Well, it's just that drop Seoinage, and it's about the grip first, and Stenhouse there dominating the head and making sure that she's on top all the time. That grip's so important, because if she gives her just one split second with that grip, then she'll disappear underneath for the Seoinage.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what you do know, that even until the end, the Koreans can be so dangerous, and they can be behind, but still get a pull out and even an ippon in the last minute. They will just stay dangerous.
So again, she's got to try and take the initiative here, Lee. She's just being beaten to the attack every time.
Yeah, no Shido's on the board yet, but you can definitely see that Stenhouse is the more dominant fighter.
Yeah, so now looking for the Jujigatami. Can she twist it, split? She's got to go onto the arm this time, and pressure onto the arm. Lee, she's going to go for the leg now, just pulling it in a circle around the head, and just didn't quite have it. 9 seconds left here. Jean-Paul Bell, who's in the coach's chair there, formerly of the UK, of course, but now coaching this lady's at the centre, actually, in Papendal.
Yep. So that was not necessary. But I guess with only 4 minutes left on the clock, it's not... she can burn off a Shido.
So she does enough. Stenhouse goes through.
Yeah, no spectacular throw yet, but I think it was a decent Wasari and just good tactical fighting and not taking the big risks, and good win for Stenhouse in this round. And we're going to see that Wasari again, right?
I think so. I think we might just see it. I mean, she starts off going for the Osaragari first of all.
Yeah, and it's nice to see what she does with the grip. She really comes over the top and really controls the arm of the Korean, of Lee.
She does. She controls it all the way through, and she's through to the next round. Vanessa Chala of Ecuador then here against Selenki of Hungary. Straight away.
Yeah.
Wow, she was wrapped round the middle there, wasn't she, Chala? Ready for the Uranagi.
And also in the last contest, she was looking really strong. So I'm guessing she is. And and she's going to go for pickups. Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice to see her trying to go for the pickup, and I hope to see some fireworks here.
Going for the Uranagi again now then.
Oh.
And it was taken against her this time. Solanki just changes the direction, hooks the foot in, and then just takes Chala onto her back. Chala doesn't know what to do. She was the one that initiated, and she's a little bit surprised, but you can't do any counters and score by dropping onto your own back, and it was directed by the Hungarian.
And she had, like, Solanki had the foot in, so it was enough for her. She was risking not having control. I think she looked at a point that she didn't have the control, but in the end she clearly had. So it's enough for the ippon. You can see with her right foot just hooked in.
The foot actually does it, doesn't it? It kind of pins the weight of her opponent there and takes her flat on her back. So Antamachi of Cuba coming out against Yates Brown here of Great Britain. One of 2 representatives in this category, under 78 kilograms from Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
She's thrown the Cuban there, and the opening seconds, my goodness, that is a massive, massive mistake by Antamachi. I mean, to say the least, it really is. But a great win there by Yates Brown, and the British have two representatives in this category. Yates Brown there, straight past the Cuban.
Look
and
at that.
Untitled is a really strong competitor as well.
She was #3 of last year. She won bronze last year.
Wow. So what a surprise. The first, well, that's the second, wasn't it? Real absolute surprise.
Look at that, how she comes underneath.
Yeah, she came underneath. Not only did she come underneath, but she really, really drove off that back leg. Jamie just so pleased with that. That was a great British win, it really was.
Yeah, really, we are working really quickly through the rounds. And now we're going to see Paula Kulaga of Poland, and she's going to face Melanie Wallace of Australia. Kulaga in white, Wallace in blue. It's good to see more and more fighters from Australia in this World Championships.
Yes, it really is. And of course, you know, the New Zealand fighters and the Australian fighters have difficulty, I think, to get the randories that they need, and they're having to travel to get to the camps and things like that, but so expensive. They're literally, from the UK anyway, at the other end of the earth. So now Wallace just wrapping around the outside there, and the attacks going on way outside of the area.
Yeah, and I think what you said is really true, that for them it's so difficult to find a high quality roundery, and we are in Europe already traveling to each other, and in other countries they do that too. You see Canada there, most of the time they're traveling to the training camps, and in order for Australians or people from New Zealand to do that, they have to just pay so much money.
Exactly. I mean, it costs a lot of money, and I know that my wife was in the Canadian team for so long, 3 World Championships, I mean, for the Olympic Games and Pan American Games, all these different events. But of course, to finance trips over into Europe, you'd have to do 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 events as well as the training camps to make it financially viable. Otherwise, it's just so expensive.
Yeah, and I think the best thing to do if you really want to go for a high level sometimes is even then you have to travel to another country, maybe to Japan, or but it's also you want to keep some quality in your home country.
Yeah, well, you want to keep the quality, but you can only train up to so far, and I was the same. Like you said, I had to go to either Japan, Korea, or do the training camps, but we didn't have so many training camps. We did have training camps, but not so many. No. Paris, of course, was just over the water for us, you know, so really handy. So Kaluga straight into the attack. It's Wallace that has the Shido on the board, 2 minutes in.
Yeah, she's not so interested in groundwork, apparently.
Yes, I think we've seen so many transitions from standing down to ground, though. We're kind of almost used to it. Can't just tap away at the legs, got to go in. And no, look at the big left arm there from Wallace, so she'll have to be careful with just defending all the time. I think
she's really, with her left arm, she's just blocking out, so she shoot or could get a Shido for that.
Yeah, I mean, she's got away with it now, but she'll just need to take that big left arm over like she has done just there, and a lot more dangerous when she does that.
She does, I think, but only when she has her grip, she's a little bit panicking, so she doesn't know what to do with it, and now by attacking, Kulaga is immediately getting a Shido for it.
Yeah, it's Kulaga that gets the Shido, and now again, that left hand of Wallace, she needs to do the same, exactly the same with that hand. Throw it over the top, because that's where Kulaga didn't like it. So no hands there from Kulaga when she fell down. That was a similar situation that we just saw, but this time she didn't have the hands on, so she doesn't get a score for it.
And it was a nice attempt from Wallace, but it had no preparation, so it was standing still. And that was closest to a score until now with the Makikomi of Kulaga.
Yeah. Just managed to prevent it, and Kalaga and Wallace still have no score. Just one Shido apiece on the board.
But I really would like to see both judokas moving a little bit more because they're quite standing still. And it's really difficult to score from that. You really have to try to keep your get your opponents out of balance, try to get them moving so that there's going to be more opportunity to throw.
Tough match this. Wallace fighting well.
Yeah, she really is fighting well.
Looking for the drop Cianegi, I think. And now, what's going to happen? Head down, needs to get the head up.
It's really slow, but it's just enough.
Yeah, just 4 seconds from the end there, and she gets a Wazari, and unfortunately, she's going to find it difficult back from there. I mean, you could see that the Soto Makikomi, a little bit of a delay in it, but not much, and she gets the win. So Kalaga of Poland is going to go through, and that was a shame because Wallace really fought well and managed to prevent any score up to 4 seconds, just 4 seconds from the end of the contest.
Yeah, and that's really frustrating if you were into the fight, you were doing a good fight, and then just 3 seconds before the end with no chance of getting anything back. I was always frustrated with that, even if it happened in a randori, because you just always want to try to get it back.
Yeah, and a lot of it's down to timing, isn't it? You know, because especially if they just if it's flop and drop and they're just dropping all the time, and you can't really get into your own pattern of your own techniques. So it's a bit of a delayed technique there, a little bit of assistance just to put her over. Wallace fought so well, but in the end, just left that arm in, and it was just enough to get her a score.
And exactly at the same time, the two French under 78 are coming onto the mat, and we're really lucky to see Madeleine Malonga fighting in white against Anna Maria Wagner, because I think it's going to be a really high quality fight. Both going to really go for it immediately. You see that?
Well, kind of similar styles there. Malonga there just wants to get close. Wagner will have some of that. She doesn't mind, does she?
No, she doesn't at all. And both really going for it. And it's immediately Osotogari. Malonga is so strong with that.
Yeah, Osoto, and she's going to take Wagner down.
Wow.
Wagner goes down and straight in for the Yushiro Katagatame. And that, wow, so easy as well.
I was not expecting that. I was expecting Malonga to be so strong, but she really looks strong. And I think the whole French team have shown this competition that
they're well prepared, aren't they?
They were really well prepared.
Well, and I think they can go. They're kind of feeding off each other's successes as well. And I think Malonga now just blasting away through that. And of course, we have two representatives in the under 78 kilograms category. Chimeo is down the bottom on Pool D. And of course, Chimeo, the Olympic bronze medalist in London, the Olympic silver medalist in London, Olympic bronze medalist in Rio. But Malonga will be hoping to prove that she can get world-class medals as well. Look at the Osoto. And you said she's really good at that. Osoto drives it over there. And the German just
she goes for Osoto and often goes to Makikomi from there. And just so strong.
Well, she keeps hold of that hand there. And she never let go of it, did she?
No,
all the way through the transition, never let it go.
Looking really strong here.
Wow, so really blasting our way through the early rounds here on mat 2. Mamadama Stiller on mat number 2 here in white against Zarina Rafova of Kazakhstan.
Ooh, there Celia was just walking off the mat. That's not that there you see kind of a lack of experience. She doesn't realize where she is, and Rafova made good use of that. Yeah,
I think just don't know the rules properly, really, as well as they should, and she'll She'll be kicking herself really for that. I think across the face there, Rafova. So I think Silla will just be hoping that, well, she needs to just fight within the yellow area, and I think that's what her coach needs to be telling her.
Yeah, and I think here you can see that Rafova is the stronger one, and Silla not having so much experience, and it's really nice to see her fight on this World Championships. And I hope she's just getting experience from this and feeling the level she has to go to.
Wow, you know, it's nice to see Guinea represented here at the World Championships. It really is. So every second that she's out there will be great experience for her.
Yeah, they're having today. They even have 2 fighters out, so it's nice to see.
And Rafova having a job to settle.
Yeah, but she's going for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So still just learnt from her poor tactics, so not just walking out this time. And you can see Rafova there just guiding her towards the edge. And it might be just to get a reaction. I hope it is, not just to get a penalty.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a thin line of that. Now she's just going for the arm lock. And I do understand that it's difficult fighting somebody you really don't know, but I also think you have to trust and be confident about your own skills and on your own judo.
I agree with you. I think it's just about being confident and going out there with a job in mind. Just get the job done.
Yeah, just go for it. And I hope Rafova will just do that and go for the big attacks. Does not look like it yet, but...
2 Shidos on the board to Silla.
Yeah, you can really see a big difference in strength here, a big difference in experience.
Well, Silla, not really. She's just surviving. We know that, and that's exactly what she is doing. But really surprised that Rafova hasn't just popped a big technique over there, and needs to just have the confidence to go in.
Yeah, and I do understand that the first 2 minutes you have to feel a little bit, or the first minute, but then I think you also feel the difference in strength.
Yeah, it's all over there. The coach obviously realizing, but then he needs to have a little word with Silla and just say that you can't walk outside the area, and of course you've got to attack. You know, it's the same for everybody here. Is that cold coffee you just drank there?
Yeah, last Judo for Silla, and yeah, it was not really an exciting fight to see, to be honest.
I think Rafova will have to be a little bit sharper up against Malonga when she comes out, because it's a totally different ball game here. It really is. Malonga will become flying out.
She will.
And the next match will take the winner through to the quarter-final, so it'll be all the medal possibilities happening when they win the next round. But we're still on this one first. We've still got another one here. The former world champion Aguiar of Brazil here coming out to fight Sinman of South Africa.
Yeah, and this is also one of the matchups there you see that Aguiar, being the current world champion, she has so much experience. She didn't really find her form yet this year, to be honest. So I'm hoping to see a better Aguiar today.
She's lost a few matches, hasn't she, actually? She's lost a couple of really important matches. And so she will be wanting to get back on track. Uchimata, and almost overbalanced.
Yeah, she didn't have the left arm control of Snyman.
No, and you've got to pull that arm through. It has to be working with the whole body movement in order to control the movement down to ground.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping to see Aguiar getting in better form, because she's in a really tough quarter with Malonga. and it's a nice matchup actually. But
it should be, and it'll be the one on form, of course, that will come through. And it's a nice, like you say, it's a nice half.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of sorting out.
So Aguiar is still looking comfortable, but just trying to find some...
trying to find the way in. Can't find the way in. Needs to attack that front leg in some way, either with the Ouchi from the inside or the Ashiwaza from the outside.
Yeah, she's going to go for Uchimata, I think.
Well, that's exactly what she's looking for, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just, that little hook on the inside there, just to open up a gap in order to come in.
But she doesn't look so convincing to me. Also, with she's not being too aggressive, and this is if you can turn someone like that, it's just convenient, and she's gonna try to just finish it like that. Oh, but she's out.
Yeah.
And this is one of the moments where you think, yeah, Aguiar doesn't look the most sharp or strong.
No, I've seen her the last 3 times out now, and she's really looked to me struggling. And struggling for form. I don't know whether it's related to training or just, you know, the fact that she's tired. And that can be a point as well. But after all the time, you know, Aguiar became world champion the last time. And this is a totally different Aguiar turned out here.
Yeah, and that's it.
Sumigaeshi into the outside komi, and she'll be glad about that. She's glad to get this first one over with.
Yeah, she is, and we can only speculate what it is. If it could be just a lack of form, it could be something different. Maybe she was injured, maybe something else is going on. But yeah, she doesn't look the best yet.
So Aguiar has plenty of time to get her form back. She really has.
And she's first. She has another fight before coming to the quarterfinals. So.
Yeah, it's not so easy, is it?
No,
I mean, they've still got a few matches to go here. So Aguiar, the defending world champion, goes through to the next round, but just got to sharpen herself up just that little bit. Sumigaeshi, though, that was very nice. Kept it well under control and directly into the Munigatami.
Yeah, Snyman did a good job against Aguiar and stopping him from attacking, but yeah, you could see that Aguiar was the stronger one here.
So Ma Chelzao of China here against Brenez of Croatia. Well, I said Croatia, it's Costa Rica, isn't it? Just pointed out there by Esther. So apologies to Costa Rica.
Yeah, and I think Maria Perez fighting yesterday, she was 5th place, and she's doing a lot of good things for her country. And I think if you have one fighter out, only one who's doing really well in the international circuit, you can really lift the level of one country.
I think you're right.
Oh, that
my
was
goodness.
Beautiful stuff.
Now then, that was almost like a banana skin slit, wasn't it? It was reminiscent of it. Ma on top, and well, there's no score on the board, so that was decided that really was just a mistake. Yeah, me too.
But for me, that was really explosive stuff from Ma, and really good turnover here.
Yeah, we're not quite sure whether the Chinese fighter Ma has got it. She's not on top. She's had it counted now. So Osai Komi and Brenez really struggling to try and get up out of that. But good side control by Ma, and the seconds ticking away. It's at least a Wazari here now, and it's going to be the full Ippon. Good bit of newaza there by the Chinese.
Yeah, and I want to see that technique again because it was looking explosive, and I'm impressed by Ma. And that's a good matchup for next fight against Aguiar, and Aguiar has to be a lot sharper the next round.
Yeah, I think they'll both have to.
So let's see. But good turnover. Good technical stuff from...
Yeah, it was unusual turnover. The midsection being tied up as usual, and then they climb over the body there. And actually, it's really, really tight on the midsection. You have to go over. It really is tight. I remember we had, the Pinewood roll, they called it. One particular club in the UK had it, and I asked them to do it on me this one time. I wanted to feel how tight it was, and really tight.
And it was pretty tight?
Very tight. not pretty, really tight.
So we're back at men's category. We're gonna see Michael Coro in white, and he's fighting Bojan Dosen in blue, who showed some good fighting today, Dosen.
Yeah, he has. So some surprises in this under 100 kilos category. We know that some really top fighters, top draw. Denisov is already out, and Ilyasov is working his way through on the bottom half. Frey on the bottom half as well. Fonseca working his way through. Lipatiliani on the top, but one or two of the top seeds going out already.
Yeah, and I think Michael Coro looked really good in his last fight, and really like focused and determined. But also Dosen did. He did look good. So
I think he's looking for the domination of the sleeve, Coral, and then he's going to disappear underneath for that Sodi.
I think that's second back patch that's coming off with Dosen.
I know, I said I'm going to have a word with the seamstress there, because, yeah, quite a few of them coming off. That's it. Now then, at least there was Ari. Didn't quite go onto the points of his shoulders, but that was a great change of direction. And I think that was off the Sodi Surikomi grip, wasn't it?
Yeah, I want to see the replay of that, but it was really good.
Home support?
Yeah. Wow, that was really close to a Nippon.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it?
And I think it was just a classic grip. Yeah, Coro absolutely looking dominant and really sharp.
Well, almost just picking his moment, isn't he? Yeah. And just changing the direction when he needs to. Kouchi, and nice Sianagi there from Dosen. Dosen says, I'm not finished yet. Not even up to the halfway mark, not yet. But he realizes that he's got to attack Dosen because he has the two penalties on there as well.
Yeah, and I think Coro is really controlling the gripping, so it will be hard for Dosen to find a good moment and not having the risk of making a drop. Because once he does that, it's over. Yeah, good Ashiwaza from Coro here.
He's gone for the Shimiwaza. That's on. That's underneath, and he gets the submission there. And Dosen just a little bit too sloppy there on the ground. Coral straight underneath with the jacket for the Koshijimi, and gets the Shimiwaza and the Ippon.
Yeah, and he really, really looks determined and confident, and already being in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that means that Coral gets at least 2 chances of medals, to fight for medals. If he lost in the quarterfinal stages, he would have to come down for final repechage match and then the bronze medal match. If he wins the next one, he'll go through to the semi-final and he'll be guaranteed a medal match without the repechage final. And of course, if he wins that, he goes through to the final with a guaranteed medal, gold or silver. There's the Koshijimi, and immediately gets the submission.
So really curious about the next fight. Cho fighting in white against Bauza in blue. And Cho was making a really good, what was it again? Kouchi?
It was Kouchi. It was Sodi Kouchi, wasn't it? I mean, most of these techniques are a mix, aren't they? Because of the kumakata. So, I mean, you have hybrid techniques that come out because of the rules, like the Yoko Otoshi, which is almost like Kataguruma. And then, you know, you can call them what you want, really. But, yeah, it was Kouchi for sure. Certainly part of the Kouchi-gari group.
Yeah, and Bauza also was looking so strong and winning with Sumigoshi quite easily in the last round. And you see Cho is well prepared for that, and he's going to try to come underneath all the time. So,
yeah. For me, I think Cho probably looks the sharper of this kind of group, but we'll see how he goes. You know, it depends on whether he dominates with the grip all the time or not. You can see the power there from Bauza, can't you?
Incredible.
I mean, he really just pushing that sleeve down, and then the big right arm coming over the top.
Yeah, but I think Cho, for Bauza, it's going to be difficult because Cho is really difficult to control, and that's all Bauza wants to do. He wants to control his opponent, be on the top, and then come for the Sumigeshi.
Yeah, Bauza trying the Sumigeshi and Cho just killing it dead. We'll have to not do it this time, I think. Well, Cho gets a penalty because Bauza is putting the attacks in.
Yeah, and I think he's really has a good tactic.
Yeah, first time every time.
Yeah.
And especially if you make it strong, you've got to make it strong, of course.
Yeah, and that's a little bit the danger because Cho is really quick on his feet and Bauza doesn't get the top half controlled. And then it's just not the right way to come in for any Sutami, basically.
He wants the space there, Cho.
Yeah.
He wants the space to go underneath. All the time, and you were talking about the little movement with the hands. It's a little movement with the hands to get the reaction from your opponent, isn't it? Just to create that space.
Yeah, Judo on the board now also for Bauza, so it's even again.
Halfway through, still plenty of time.
Yeah, and Cho is really going to try to look for that hole there, and he's really using his feet well. As well as his gripping.
Yes, it's a bit of a stalemate here. And some hard matches in this minus 100 kilos category, that's for sure. Well, the temperature in this stadium just gone up a little bit, and I think it might be somebody from Azerbaijan just about to walk out. Now, Bauza, for me, there just dropped and gets the penalty for it.
And that's what I said, like if Bauza doesn't have the control on the top and gonna go down, then he has the risk of getting a Judo. But he's really controlling the arms of Cho well. Now he has the kumikata he wants, Cho, and he's probably gonna try to come under quick.
I think the thing is with Cho, he knows the Seoinage is there, but he knows that Bauza will just block him, you know, and obviously they're pulling back. So he feels the danger with it.
Yeah, a lot of noise in the stadium here, and I think it's to do with also Lipertiliani being Georgian, and it's the country next to Azerbaijan, so many people just traveled here.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday, didn't we? A lot of the Georgians supporting. Now, can he get the leg out there? The double latch on the legs there from Bauza. Feels the danger, of course.
Yeah, but he really... I don't think that leg was going anywhere.
I don't think it was going anywhere. That's why I say he had it hooked, didn't he? So that nice little hook you do. Stop them getting the leg out.
Yeah, no scores yet. It's quite an even match, I think.
It is an even match, and it might just go into golden score, this. And I think it will be decided on the one that really just takes the chance.
Yeah, takes a chance or makes the mistake even.
Takes the chance, makes them, yeah, exactly. Well, that's when you do make mistakes, isn't it? You know, you have to kind of throw caution to the wind. Very careful. There's the
Oh,
Seoinage.
that was good stuff. Not finished yet.
Well, he wasn't, and again, he didn't have the sleeve, which was a bit unfortunate, but he definitely had the drive.
Yeah, best attack we've seen in this fight.
Yeah, by far.
And I love to see that Cho, even when he comes in and he's not really out of balance yet, he just keeps pushing, and keeps coming close. Now he felt it once, he's gonna try to do it again.
Tries the Yoko Tominagi as well. So in 30 seconds, the last 30 seconds, he's actually done 3 major attacks.
Yeah, and I think Bowser really has to start attacking now because he's already on 2 Shidos and he has the risk of getting a 3rd Shido. So, and he knows that. And Cho knows it because he's really starting to push for that.
He's absolutely pushing for it. That was a drop onto the knees that might just do it as well. The referee says no. Good decision from the referee. That was, just let them fight it for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Not
and
fair.
I think there was, yeah.
That definitely, that is going to be
Yeah.
it. It was once too often, wasn't it? Once too often. Chow is going to win this by default. He doesn't. Wow. Well, I am surprised with that one, I have to say.
Yeah, and for me that was also a little bit escaping the forward moving from Cho. So that was not a positive way to go down. There was not so much force in it. What you see, yeah.
Well, Bowser is going to get this now.
Yeah.
It's all over. 3rd penalty going to go up to Bowser. Cho's going to go through. And he's going to fight Karel of the Netherlands in the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, especially as, like you say, Karel really on good form.
Yeah, Karel has all his energy left, and Cho really spent some energy in winning this fight.
Well, he knew it, didn't he? He absolutely knew it there. Bowser knew straight away when the referee stopped the match that he hadn't done enough. I thought maybe he dropped once too often, but it was a good attack from Cho in the end that instigated that he just needed to give the other penalty and get the match over with. So Cho goes through to the quarterfinals. So now on to the ladies again. Stenhouse here against Solanke. And Stenhouse looked really good in her first round.
She did look really good, and I think she just looked determined and really controlled.
I think that's a key word, isn't it? Look, control,
yeah.
And here we go, Uchimata, it's all over. That was for me, that was Ippon, and I think they might just change that.
Yeah, they did change it. Quick win for Steenhuis, and again, she looks really controlled. Good Uchimata, and yeah, Solanke knows it.
Yeah, she knew it straight away, didn't she?
And Steenhuis still looks ready to fight.
Well, well, when it's over that quickly, you think, well, you know, can we start that all over again? It was a small mistake, if you don't mind, but
no, but
never
I
happens.
really do like that she kept focused, because you never know what the referee's going to do. What if they change it back? You have to keep focused and be ready to fight. Yeah, but that was a clear Ippon.
Clear Ippon. I mean, it was a nice spinning Uchimata, landed her absolutely cleanly on her back. And it just goes to show two types of Uchimata. Look at the support leg. The support leg was on the outside this time.
Yeah.
But actually what happens is she got circular movement and rotation. So Yates Brown of Great Britain here runs out, ready to start this match. She had a quick first round match against the Cuban, the world bronze medalist, and she threw her very, very quickly. Kulaga of Poland, her opponent here, and Yates Brown absolutely flying.
Yeah, let's see if she can do it again.
Well, of course, this is to take the winner through to the quarter-final stages. Jamie Johnson, my former student, is in the chair. So he's my full-time student for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was. So he's now in charge of the ladies' team.
He's quite new in the international, like being a head coach,
well,
right?
Being head coach, yes, but he was always there. He was with the cadets for many years, and so yeah, really come through, and now doing a great job with the women.
And also for Great Britain, Powell is also fighting at the moment.
Yes.
So they have two good fighters here today.
Yeah, indeed, and. So I had Powell as well. I was in charge of the Welsh team for some time, and when she was just coming up.
So I'm not sure if that was a score. Yeah, I think they're going to give a score for that.
So Yates-Brown gets a score there.
It was not the right angle, so I'm hoping to see that in replay a little bit later.
Yeah, Yates-Brown having an absolute great tournament.
She really does.
Looking for the shimiwaza there, just the strangle, whether she is underneath the neck or not. She's trying to get the leverage. And Kulaga of Poland just manages to hold off.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was really under, and didn't get Paula in Kulaga into trouble.
And that's going to be it. Yates-Brown then. Sodisura Komigoshi, 2 ippons now to take her through to the quarterfinals against Stenhuis of Netherlands.
Yeah, and that's really a good performance of Yates-Brown now.
Yeah, so Jamie Johnson very pleased about that.
And she's going to face the #1 seed in the quarterfinals here.
So Great Britain absolutely flying at the moment.
Yeah, they really are, and it's nice to see, and she's having a really good run here.
Sodisura Komigoshi scored so quickly on the Cuban and gets an ippon here.
She's really dangerous with that today.
Absolutely.
And
well,
because she's quite small for the 78, she's really able to drop under quite easy.
Yeah. Great win, takes her through. She'll be fighting fairly quickly, actually. And now we've got Malonga against Rafova. Malonga of France against Rafova of Kazakhstan.
Malonga looking so strong.
What is it about Malonga? Malonga absolutely so hungry for this and willing to take chances.
Yeah, she is. She is sometimes taking big risks by coming so high over the top. And she takes the risk of being picked up.
Yeah, she is taking that risk. It's either going to be ippon one way or the other, isn't it? That's certainly the way it feels at the moment.
Yeah, now Raifova is controlling the right arm of Malonga, and I think that's key in fighting Malonga. If you let that arm come over the top, she's so dangerous, and especially being tall and using her legs.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a penalty for Malonga for sure. Just drifting outside of the area.
Yeah, that you don't expect so much from
well, no, you don't really. I mean, we know that a lot of the French do tend to gravitate towards the edge, which isn't a good thing.
And maybe also because she's just so focused on going on her opponent, going over.
Oh, now then, that's a great counter there. Didn't get a score for the actual drop there. She dropped right on top of her. And whether it was going to be counted as a Tewaza or not doesn't matter now. It's by and by. Malonga dropped straight on top of Rafova, and Rafova is not going anywhere.
No, she isn't. Yeah, strong fighting from Malonga and really positive attitude. So she's on to the next round and the next quarter-finalist. And I think this is really the quickest day we've had.
You and I are going to have an early bath,
Yeah.
aren't we? It's just, it's going to be an early one. So Malonga goes through to the quarter-final stages now, and I think we've only got 4 matches to go on mat number 2. So could have been a score there, I think, for Malonga. She did direct it down. Remember, if you can't name it, then you don't give a score for it. But calling it a tewaza or calling the technique tewaza counts. And so for me, that was probably, could have been. Anyway, here we go, though. Next contest up, Aguiar, the world champion, up against Ma Jianzhao of China.
Yeah, Ma was looking impressive in the last fight, and Aguiar really still was trying to find her form. So let's see if Aguiar is looking a little bit better this time. And even though she's not looking on form, she's still so dangerous.
So left against right. Aguiar always extreme left with her stance. No left.
Huh?
No left. And of course Ma is right-handed. It can cause, did you you were specifically right-handed?
For me?
Yes.
Or no, I was left and right-handed.
Specifically left and right, or did you go both?
Both ways.
So I think that's, you know, it is the key, isn't it? Either over both flanks or being able to throw both sides.
Yeah, and I think that both things have really advantages. So, for example, Aguiar really has a good game plan. She can focus on one thing and try to act on it, do it perfectly. And there's a little bit less of a surprising element, maybe, but it's so controlled and so good that she's not world champion for nothing, let's say. But then you have some other fighters like Alviar yesterday being able to come left and right and really has a surprise element. And I think that's a big advantage also.
And also dangerous if you don't attack her properly.
Yeah.
That's, you know, I think that's the big thing, isn't it? If it, you know, half-hearted is not a good thing.
That's it. And it can be too chaotic also.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's almost like they come out and just push
go.
forward. Yeah, just go all the time. Aguiar gets a penalty. She's not attacking.
No, we're not used to see that with Aguiar. We're used to see her fighting really positive, going forward, going for the Uchimata. But yeah, it's not there yet.
No, it isn't.
And Ma trying to do Newaza here. Not sure if she's under the chin, and probably not.
Well, we've only got 4 matches left on mat number 2 here, and Malonga's up in the 4th match. And the winner of this has got to fight Malonga.
Yeah.
So it's not a long break, is it?
No, it's not at all. So, yeah, hopefully for them, I don't know who's going to be the winner, but it's going to be, it doesn't take too much energy out of them.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if it goes to golden score? Of course, they're allowed the 10-minute break anyway in between. But even so, sometimes that isn't enough, is it? But they should have the condition to carry it, of course, but not always the case.
Ooh, that was a really good score for Ma. And straight onto Saikami, or she's still... Oh, no, the leg is still in.
Well, Ma just upset the odds there. She's taken the world champion over and only a minute left. So Makikomi takes Aguiar over, and Aguiar definitely struggling.
Let's see if now she has some more, because now she's looking to be a little bit more aggressive. She really has to start going now.
Well, for sure, Malonga will be watching this match very carefully from the wings over there. And
sometimes, in case it were the nerves coming on and then you're behind, then you don't have a choice anymore. You just have to go, and you see that happening right here.
little bit of a panic attack there, right-handed this time from Aguiar. Don't remember, she is a left-handed fighter. She does a right-handed Seoinage, but she knows she's having to really take the fight to Ma in order to get that score back. She needs a score to even it all up, and that would then allow her to get another score to win the match, but she's got a mountain to climb.
And it's also sad a little bit to see that only now she's really coming on steam, and sometimes you wonder, why didn't you start doing that before?
Yeah, exactly. 16 seconds to go. She's going to come on strong. Ma's going to take the brunt of this and try and stop it. Tominagi this time from Aguiar.
Being quite close to scoring with the... Ooh, that's gonna be tough for the Chinese.
Can she get the leverage? No. She can't. It's all gone.
That's frustrating for Aguiar, and she just doesn't find her form this year.
No, she hasn't found it at all, has she? She's struggled in every time that I've seen her out, actually the last 3 times. And Aguiar holds her head because she knows it.
So it's really sad to see the world champion Aguiar go out and also not being able to show what she got. And I'm really hoping to see her back on form later this year. But a really good win from Ma. She was impressing me already in the first round. And she keeps doing it. So let's see what she has to offer against Malonga in the next fight, who's looking very sharp. And we have a little break now, 5 minutes, and then we're going to go and go to the quarterfinals. So I'll see you in a bit.
The next contestant on Tatami 3. Third round for women in 78 kilos. In blue judo representing Portugal, Patricia Sampaio. In white judo for the Netherlands, Marlene de Verkeer.
So we're just about to kick off again on mat number 2. And we're going to start with the men's. We've got one men's quarter-final match. Michael Curl of the Netherlands against Cho Guham of Korea. So that's the first contest up, followed by Stunhus of the Netherlands in the under 78 kilos category against the very in form Yates Brown, blasting her way through the field. Fantastic. And then, of course, the last match, which will be Madeleine Malonga of France against Ma Zhao of China.
Yeah, really, we've seen some fighters being on form, and for me, this contest is a really good one. And Curl, Cho, their head-to-head is actually 1-1, but the last time was in Grand Slam Paris final, and then Cho didn't fight. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So they do know each other, and it's I really don't know how this is going to turn out.
Yes, it'll be interesting. Here we go. So quarter-final stages, of course, that gives them two chances now for medals. So if they lose this particular match, they'll go down and then they'll fight in the at 4 o'clock. They'll fight repechage final to qualify them to fight for 3rd place. Or if they win this, it'll take them through to the semi-finals, and then they get a chance to fight to get to the final. So it's either way, they have 2 medal chances. Coral then is in white, and Cho of Korea is in blue.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think Coral is going to be too much for him. I think he'll stop him. He'll stop the Cianagi.
Yep.
And then I think he'll go to work on him. But, I mean, that's just my opinion, and I don't want to... There's no disrespect to Cho, but you never know, though. You know, he's got a really good Cianagi himself. They're both Cianagi people here. But you said it a couple of fights ago, actually. You said that he plays it quite cleverly.
Yeah, he really does.
Coral.
He's working... Yeah, Coral is smart with the gripping, but this is the danger, actually.
Of course, the Cianagi is always a danger.
Yeah.
It just depends on how he kills it. And the fact, you know, not letting him take over the pace of the contest, because that's what starts to lose it for you if you're not careful.
Yeah, and what I really liked from Cho is that he's working so well also with the kumikata and with the ashiwaza. He's combining it really well. And I think both they actually being really different in posture, but they sometimes have a little bit the same style. Both working with the gripping, with the ashiwaza, and then coming underneath.
And looking for the same technique.
Yeah, yes. So let's see. And I think Koro is just trying to get Cho to move.
Yeah, I think so. Just waiting for the right moment, and I think he'll explode in then. I think that's probably what he needs to do there, is to control the upper part there of the head.
And Cho immediately felt the danger and went to the ground. And I don't think for me, that was no technique and just going and escaping the fight.
He just escaped the penalty, didn't he? That's what you mean, isn't it?
He was lucky there.
Yeah.
And I think Koro is looking very strong here.
Yeah, we're getting to the latter part. We've had some surprises in both the 78 kilos category for ladies and the under 100 kilos category here. The big champions going out early on. But I mean, it is the World Championships. So, I mean, it's bound to happen. But
yeah, but for me, the big shock was that Aguiar went out, and we just seen that Chumeo also went out, and I think nobody expected that.
No, and Powell, I mean, she was world ranked number 2. She's out in the 78s. No chance of medals, and that's unusual, isn't it? Because they're always up there and round about.
Yeah, especially in the World Championships, you know, some of the people are always going to be good, and Chumeo and also Powell is going to be one of those. And Powell even getting a bronze last year, so.
Yep. So new people on the rostrum, certainly different order. Now then, that's going to be a score there to Cho, and Cho gets the Ippon.
But
wow.
that was a great technique, and he just really went on completely underneath, controlled the sleeves perfectly. Or he had one sleeve, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he did, but he absolutely drove Coral onto the points of his shoulders there. And that was a great win by the Korean. Cho goes through to the semi-finals and has surprised us all.
He did.
Nothing but surprises this today.
No, Cho for me is not the surprising semi-finalist, but it's surprising that he beats Coral in this way.
Yes, I think you're right. It's always a surprise. And he doesn't fight it in any possible way, Coral. He knew. Oh, wow, they've changed it to a Wazari now then. So he gets to...
So now it's going to be really interesting, and Coral is really warned, and he's going to really push Cho for the Shidos also, and just tries to get the Wazari back.
Well, I think he will. He's got a minute to do it, so this should be an interesting minute, because I think Cho's going to disappear underneath him as soon as he feels in danger.
So, but Coral is hopefully is realizing that he really doesn't have so much time, and he does, because he's really coming in aggressively. But that's so difficult if you're behind with the Korean. That was not far off, but I think because the Koreans are so well with the kumikata, here we see it again.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't think Coral was fighting that for the Ippon either, but anyways, there was Harry scored, and so now Cho will be willing to just waste any time that he possibly can there. Of course, both coaches saying you've got to go forwards.
Yeah, and really not over yet, and he's going to try to go big here.
Yeah, he's setting him up for the Sumigeishi there. Yeah. Cho just needs to attack. He's got a couple of penalties he can burn here.
Yeah, he
and
can.
He's going to burn one there.
That,
he's just done one of them.
Yeah, but with 3 seconds left of the clock, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, he burnt another one there as well, probably on the bell. But that was really good stuff from Cho. Last minute, and he knew that he had to play it tactically and stop Coral.
Yeah, and what I said, like, if you're behind with the Korean and them being so good in the kumikata and coming on the further techniques, it's really difficult to get the score back. You don't see very often that a Korean gets thrown.
So he goes through to the semi-final now. That was a good win for Cho, and look how pleased he looks. The Koreans having a really good championships. Sori Surakami, it was almost reversed. It turns into a reverse Seoinage, but drives off the legs there and takes Coral onto the points of his shoulders.
Completely blocks the arm of Coral, so he has no defense anymore.
Yeah, good decisions from the judges and the referee there as well. Probably more a Wazari than it was an Ippon.
Yeah. So on to the quarterfinals for the under 78 kilo. And some really interesting matches here with an unexpected Yeats Brown there. And she's fighting Steenhuis. Steenhuis in white against Yeats Brown in blue.
Yeats Brown runs out. She's ready to go. Steenhuis will just try and quell that Sori Surakami Goshi, I'm sure. That's the main game plan.
Yeah, and I think what Steenhuis is going to do is just try to control Yeats Brown and just try to not give her space at all to come underneath, because she's going to be so dangerous with that.
I think you're right, and so we're going to have a totally different match here, and just backs along the edge.
Yeah.
Will want to avoid stepping out, doesn't want to step out at all. Uchimata this time, Steenhuis.
Doesn't really quite have the control on the top, so no score. But she's gonna play this game.
Yes.
And for Yeats Brown, it's so nice because she doesn't have so much to lose. She's quite new in this category. She's fighting the top fighters, feeling really well, and she is on fire.
Yeah, well, 2 incredible wins the last 2 rounds, and so just backs Steenhuis up to the edge.
Yeah, first Judo for Steenhuis there.
Yeah.
Coming off the mat.
So now Steenhuis really got to take the fight to Yates-Brown. Doesn't want to go too much.
Yeah, big upset. Oh, wow, that's a nice Uchimata from Steenhuis.
Steenhuis just in with the Uchimata there, and again, it was on the spin. It was rotating round, and Yates-Brown flat on her back. Starts off with the Kosoto, then the Uchimata, and no way off there for Yates-Brown. Steenhuis, I've got to say, is for me looking the favourite to get through to the final, certainly, anyway. But what a great win for her.
Yeah, she really looks strong, and she's going to be so pleased with that, because before she just didn't make it on the World Championships, and now she's finding herself in the semi-final with a really good chance of a medal.
Yeah, fantastic chance of a medal. Remember, she's got two stabs at a medal as well.
Wow,
and look at the
throw.
height there that she gets. And again, good rotation. As soon as she was in with the leg there, starts outside, goes inside. Look at the pulling action there, and how important the hands are. The Tsuruti hand was working, the Kazushi hand was working. Brilliant stuff. Well, we've got one last match here on mat number 2 in the preliminary rounds. It's nearly all done, and then it's down to business at 4 o'clock, our time here in Baku. 4 o'clock here, 1 o'clock in the UK, 2 o'clock European time, and it'll be the final repechage matches and also all of the medal matches a little bit later. Malonga of France here against Ma Jiangzhou of China, and she's straight in there. Oh my goodness. Why don't you just go straight in there and try and throw for it on? Well, I just love that big arm over the top here. And so Ma just feels the danger straight into the defense.
Yeah, but for me, she's also looking on form. But yeah, Malonga just looks like so, she's so overwhelming for them, so dominant. Now maybe she's, yeah, we cannot really tell if it's under, right?
Well, we can't tell whether it's underneath the neck. She's trying for the strangle and doesn't quite get it. But Malonga, so aggressive.
Yeah, once she really can go, because sometimes she's in for the Ouchi, but I think when she's most dangerous when she goes for Osotogari, and she's really so high on top.
Well, that's really Malonga. Ma, her only chance is to try and hit off the grip, because she knows how powerful Malonga is. And Malonga's so aggressive too.
Yeah, and I think it's mainly to survive the first 2 minutes with Malonga, and then see if she slows down a little bit and try to get through with your own actions, basically.
You can only hope, can't you? Arm over. Here we go. Cross grip, got to go in. Tries the Sodo Makikomi, doesn't quite work. Ma now on top.
Yeah.
And trying for the turnover here, Ma, and Malonga doesn't want to know.
But Ma looking strong also for me. She's really, she really impressed me today.
Well, just looking at the clock here, it's 12, just after 12 o'clock.
It's
midday.
incredible, right?
Yes, it's gone through so quickly. It really has. 12 o'clock for us here, 9 o'clock in the UK, and 10 o'clock in France or in Europe. And, well, it's nearly all over. It's an hour shorter, isn't it? Or quicker, should I say. But shorter for us.
Yeah. Ooh, wow.
Now that's going to be it. Oh, Ma's taken her over. Oh, my goodness me. She's taken Malonga over for a Koshiguruma, and she's straight in for the hold down. This is all over now, and it's another big upset here in the under 78 kilos category, and it's going to be Ma Zhensen of China that's going to go through.
And it's exactly the same technique she was using against Aguiar, and she's so strong with that. And I told you she was impressing me, and she keeps doing that. That was really, really good stuff.
Well, Ma Zhejiao of China has surprised everybody here, beating Malonga, and not only beating her, but beating her really, really well.
Yeah, we're gonna see that one more time in the replay. Super deep in the with her hips. Wow.
And she wasn't going to let go of that, was she? Soto Makakomi, and then directly into the hold down there. I think Malonga was, well, stunned, as we all were, really, that it was like that, because certainly it looked to me as if Malonga was going all the way.
Yeah, and there was no stopping in that. She was so deep in with her hips.
So Stenhouse against Ma Zhejiao of China is going to be the semi-final in this quarter.
Yeah, and it's going to be a completely different fight, with Stenhouse being left and Malonga was really right. So it's going to be a different fight for sure.
Well, for sure it is. And, well, what can I say? We're all over here. It's preliminary rounds all finished. We have a couple of surprises. Stenhouse against Ma Zhejiao of China is going to be one of the semi-finals. And we've got, of course, Cho got through for the men. It's going to be an early bath and an early lunch for us. Anyway, I'd just like to say, as always, it was an absolute pleasure. I've got Esther that's been with me all morning. We've had a great time. We're going to be back same time tomorrow, Esther and I, but I'm going to be back also for the final stages of this tournament on day 6, a little bit later on at 4 o'clock. Baku time. So join us then. From Esther and I, it's goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bir nömrəli tatamidə Mongolistan təmsilçisi Ela Kvaksuren Otkom Batar qalib gələrək dünya çempionatının yarım final mərhələsinə